Greetings and salutations. This is another Dragon Barrows video. Uh, just recently I watched again from this YouTuber, believe it or not. They have a thing called Church and the Single Person. I was watching that video and it is like they say, like all the church says, oh, it is a blessing being single. It's a blessing. You can have more time with us. You can do this with us. You can do that with us. Uh, but then they say again. They always say, "Oh, why don't you? Oh, you know, God, He loves you. He'll give you the right one. Oh, God, He loves you, but you gotta hang on a bit more." And I'm just like, to be honest with you, I was just thinking at the end of my Christianity, how fucking pathetic is this fucking God? If this God loves me and wanted me to be with a with a woman, why hasn't he done it earlier? And it's just so baffling to me that like in one sense they say, oh, single people are blessed in this church, but then they say you gotta get married, you gotta have kids, you gotta pump it out, which is very much a harmful and divisive way of getting people to try and do what you would like them to do. Like for me as a single, well, back then a former single I am now a former single person. I am now dating a beautiful woman. Uh, but then I'm just thinking, the reason why they pick on the single person is because there's no partner that they are in like not collusion with, but in doing things with. There's no children that they have to raise. There's no family activities, which to me means that we don't care about you and your personal time or your this or that and the other, which is very detrimental to the health, like the proper health of everyone else. Especially when it comes to cleanups. Oh, can you, can all these single people come around and clean up the yard or clean up the church on one Sunday? Only to have a couple of those single people who said, "Yes, I'm going to go to a." Like they'll feel like their commitments to like a Bucks party, their commitments to hens parties, their commitments to helping out their family, uh, with like a birthday thing or an anniversary thing, time for them to get ready for a wedding. They'll make them feel so bloody guilty on of doing these things instead of helping the church. I go, I hate, to be honest with you, I really fucking hate this whole passive aggressive motherfucking shit that this whole Christian church does. It it is literally a predatory act against the literally against the single person. And one of the things that was brought up in that video that I seen was, oh, we have the ministry for the youth. We have the ministry for the women. We have the ministry for the elderly. But we don't have ministry for the single man. And I'm thinking, hang on. What you're telling me is that you care for the young kids, you care for the women, you care for the old people, but you actually don't care for the men, the men between the ages of 18 to like 59. That is very harsh. That's very cruel. And it is one of the most despicable things that anyone can do. Is to force young men to find a woman early and get married early. And I was a victim of that. Like, as I said, there's like even couples ministry, family ministry as well. They go after them, and it's just like, oh, we're doing a couples retreat coming up 2 months from now. Please save the date. And I'm thinking, what about the single people in the church? And that has happened a number of times, and I've asked different ministers, why is that? Why isn't there a time where you can do a Christian camp like a singles Christian camp, where you can organize a Christian hookup, like a Christian meetup, and that? And they go, oh, it's just not done. Or, we don't want to interfere in God's majestic plan. And I'm like thinking today as a pagan, you could have helped out the young people who really are struggling with trying to find a loved one, like trying to find someone to marry, or someone to be connected with, only for you to reject what you have been fucking saying, as to say, oh, and Mark fucking Driscoll. I used to look up to this fucking prick. This fucking asshole, this fucking cunt. He says, real men chop wood, real men fix cars, real men marry young, and they have families in the church. And I'm thinking, hang on. I don't chop wood. I don't fix cars. And no fucking three-way banging chick wants a piece of me. So, are you saying that I'm a fucking boy? Are you saying that I'm worthless as a man within the church? And I'm asking this, and if Mark Driscoll ever gets to see this video, I want him to make a fucking reply video saying to all these single men who can't find a woman that they are okay. Or if not, he is still the biggest piece of shit to ever come out of Christianity. One of the biggest pieces of shit, along with Joel Osteen. I fucking hate them both. And I do have a reason for me hating Mark Driscoll. Because he made it fucking hard for me to find a girl for years. He was one of the reasons why I didn't have the confidence to get a woman for years. Oh, chopping wood. Getting into fights. Getting into conflict. Getting into this. Getting into that. Fuck you, Mark Driscoll. Whew. That actually got a lot off my chest. And it's just like, as I said, like Mark Driscoll, one of the fucking cunts I hate. He, like, people like him make it hard for young Christian men or young men to think that they are strong, that they are worthy, that they are needed. I, for many years, was my mum's caretaker. But apparently that's not worthy enough for Mark Driscoll and men like him. Actually, should I say little boys who cheat on their fucking wives and steal money from the church. Yeah, good on you on that one. Steal money from the people who... and this is going to be another video as well. The whole tithing bullshit. And to be honest with you, it's just like so pathetic how all these single people are allegedly loved and cared for. But are they really? When in the churches that I've visited a fuck ton of churches. It's like from Newtown to Penrith, from Campbelltown to, I think, Chatswood. I visited a lot of churches, a lot of Protestant churches, and the whole fucking thing was, oh, come, if you're not married, young, you're worthless, you're a piece of shit, you're this and the other. But yet we'll still use you. You can help out with as I said, the gardening, the catering for some wedding that's going to, you help out with fixing up tables and chairs for the catering of some wedding if it's a big enough church. Put up decorations for this festive event. Put up decorations for that festive event. Put up, this is what you can do. You can hand out leaflets to an upcoming event, outreach program. And they're always asking single people to do that. They treat single people like slaves. More so the males. They don't care if you're black, they don't care if you're brown, yellow, white, or any damn shade in between. They don't care. They literally don't care if you're a male. If you're a male in the church. And sometimes they don't give a fuck if you're a female. Forcing the idea that to be a really good woman in the church, you must marry a good, strong Christian male. A good, strong, Bible-based Christian man to fall in love with and get married to. You must be this, you must be that, you must be some bloody other. But then when all these Christian women do that and the relationship sours, they're expected to stay in those relationships because of what? God put you together. You need to be with one another. And you know how bloody cruel that is to women who have this master servant mentality, overly developed piece of shit husband. He goes, according to the Bible, you're my slave. Now make me a sandwich, bitch. But when the minister and his wife comes on and goes, oh, don't worry, darling, I'll fix it. I'll help you with the tea and that. But before then, it's like, yeah, fuck off. They wait till they're going to come, bugger off. They go, You know what I want for dinner? Give me a fucking steak and a fucking beer, bitch. Those sort of men are in Christianity. Those men are. And I tell you how I know. I visited a number of my friends who went to other Protestant churches, and I witnessed it when I just seen like this fucked up minister and his slut faced wife go into their overly priced car for someone who's supposed to be struggling. Only for when they just turn around the corner or go down where the car is unseen by the trees and the bushes and the cars and the whatnots. I just looked over and I just seen this man go like this. I told you once, and how many fucking times do I have to tell you this? God made me your master when we said I do. The honeymoon was the last holiday you'll ever have. Or until I get this bloody raise that I'm fucking well putting in for. I've seen that. I've seen that happen. And to have a woman be forced into that sort of relationship, fuck off. Which actually hurts the single man even more, especially a good one. Like, I was a good Christian man. Like, I had to take care of my mum. Apparently, that is not good enough for the Christian woman. I know if I was in India, or if my mother moved to India, met my father and had kids there, and I looked after her, guess what? I would be one of the most prized men in the town because I look after my mum. And being a part of an Indian family, guess what? Taking care of your taking care of your elders is a priority. And I could have had any woman that I wanted in India if I was born there. But I'm not. I have a beautiful girlfriend now. We've been dating for 3 years and 3 months now. Shit. But still, it's just that whole bullshit where this whole Christian mentality where you be treated like a slave when you are single, which is a load of bullshit, you know. Oh, you young strong men, you gotta come up and do the yard work. And especially if the church is one of the mega fucking churches. They've taken over a former sports team. This more or less is more of a US thing instead of an Australian thing. But even here in Australia, I've seen there's a couple of churches in the Fairfield region where they don't have any lawns. They don't have even a couple of churches in Campbelltown where they have no lawns, no car park. They're just running out of an office area in the city, and they go, "You young men, we're doing up a clean up the street campaign. We're doing clean up the area campaign. We want you to come and clean up the area with us. If you're a visitor and you want to be a part of this church, come on down and be a cleaner too." I had volunteered for these sort of things, and guess what? the minister and at times it's the associate minister don't come and lead in the way. Why? They are fucking married and they have responsibilities for their children in some fucking Christian church. Not some fucking Christian church, some fucking Christian school. They go, oh, unfortunately we can't make it. And I went back like a week, like the day later, and they was like, oh, sorry, we didn't make it because our children's commitments took us away from this project. And I'm just thinking, really? You couldn't you couldn't make the cleanup campaign the week after your child's fucking sports thing or your child's fucking fate or some fair or your fucking child's dumbass theater performance. Why couldn't it be like the weekend after that where you can lead your fucking church? Lead these young single people in doing what is supposed to be done. Which is fucking ridiculous. Cleaning up the church, cleaning up the streets, cleaning up the area. And quite a few times there, I had to turn down. Like, I've missed out on Bucks parties. I've missed out on birthday parties. I missed out on couple of weddings of mates that I've known for fucking years. I've missed out on. Actually, I missed out on a funeral of one of my teachers back in primary school. And I was supposed to have made a speech at that funeral. All because of one minister or another knowing that I'm a single man, or back then knowing I was a single man, knowing that I can work on those that they don't give a fuck. They honestly don't give a shit. They don't give a toss. They don't give anything about your other commitments. And especially if you have like a commitment that is on a Sunday of all fucking things. Like, I represented my country 5 times in Tenpin bowling. It was it was like a youth thing back in the late 90s, early 2000s, where I became friends with a great number of people. But when I bowled for Australia, represented Australian Tenpin bowling, and I said I couldn't do it because of this commitment, they went, oh, you know that's disappointing to hear that, because all we just want you to do is help us out, help God out. And I'm just now, and this is like weeks afterwards, I'm thinking, I did something that hardly anyone in this church can do or will ever do, and that's to represent Australia in a sport. I may not be interviewed on the Today Show. I may not be interviewed on Sunrise. I may not be interviewed on Channel 10 or on the Australian Broadcasting Commission or SBS. I may not be interviewed on those things. I might not be famous for those things. But I did something that no one else in that fucking congregation can do. And I did it 5 times over. Which is so frustrating to think that all this pressure on a single person is like just all this pressure, like they want you to be their slave, but yet they want you to find a partner to love for all time. You can't do one and you can't do both at the same time. You have to do one or the other. Which is so fucking frustrating. Especially if there's women who come to one of those, like, come to like a joint singles event, like single thingos. You can't pick up the chick. You can't ask a chick out on a date. One time that I visited a church. A mate of mine who now accuses me of being a sexual predator, all because I asked him. All I just did was answer his sister's question on what do you do when you have a shower or have a bath. He now wants to kick my head in because I answered that question. I want to smack his head in because he wants to smack my head in. So I'm keeping away from the fucker. But he was he recently he had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend wanted to come and see what his church does. He said, "This is my girlfriend, and I'm here to lead the boys." And this bloody small ass bitch, whose name is Kristen, of all. She goes, "Oh, I'm the one going to be leading the women," when she had a fucking partner. How can you be? And these bloody people, like, I was headed towards I was 29 going on 30 at the time, and these bloody idiots, Tim, 21, Kristen, fucking 19. And how can they lead people who are older than them? And have been single for a lot longer than they've been fucking, some of them a lot longer than they've been a bloody alive. And I thought, Christian men, Christian women working together, I may ask a young Christian woman out. These women that I asked, one was 18, not 18, one was 24, one was 26, one was 27. And these were at different events. And at these different events, I was asked not to pick up these women. They said, you're not going to help out God if you take these women away from us. You're saying that I can't take one fucking woman away from your church to come to my church so we can be boyfriend and girlfriend and we can do the stuff that we want to do with the friends that we have. That's bullshit. When two of them have actually brought men from other churches to join that one. It would have been different if I was to join their church. Now that was the thing. If they got more members. Which makes it even more fucking... makes me even more fucking pissed off with this innate slavery and fucking screwing up with a single person. We are encouraged to, the single Christian person has been encouraged to be strong in the faith. God will give you this, God will give you that, God will give the other. Let me see. You said God will give me a woman. I was getting sick and tired of this bullshit. I found a woman. I asked her to be my girlfriend and she said yes. I did it. Not fucking Jesus Christ. Not his fucking father. I did it. I like I seen this beautiful woman. She's big, she's badass, and she's fucking beautiful. I fell in love with her. Though she asked me before, but I was a bit scarred because I was coming out of a rotten relationship. I asked her out. She said yes. I did it. Another thing that really fucks me over with this whole, gets me so fucked up, fucking pissed at this whole bullshit, is that they say God will do this and will do that and do the other for you. Let's just see. As a pagan who is now dating a woman, I've lost weight because I've taken it. I am doing the weight loss, not fucking them. Which also irritates me about this whole having this whole single lifestyle in a Christian environment. Is that like a few times when I asked a woman out, they said, I wish you were a lot thinner, then maybe I would have become your girlfriend. And I'm like, you are going down that path? You want me to be a Christian, but then you want me to be a Christian male, but who gives everything to this narcissistic dictator. To be honest with you, I respect Saddam Hussein. I respect Uday Hussein. At least their intentions you could fucking see. I respect Saddam Hussein. I respect Uday Hussein. I even respect the Islamic Prophet Muhammad. Because they had a goal of though they did shitty things, but their shitty things was for a goal. I give them a clap. But this whole Lord the Father, like God, this big almighty God, singularity bullshit, and his son, the narcissistic arsehole, and for us to serve them is bullshit. And again, it just compiles himself, It's like saying, if you're not youth group lovebirds, you have to do a lot of this bullshit for the church. And you literally go batshit. Like I went batshit crazy before I discovered paganism. I discovered paganism because I went batshit crazy over this whole fucking Christian bullshit. Now I can just ask Odin and Thor, give me the strength to lose the weight. And guess what? I am doing a lot more walking. I'm doing a lot more shadow boxing, sumo squats, the lot. All because I've asked for strength to do it. And I'm getting the strength to do it. And I am succeeding in my goals. And I am thanking Thor. I am thanking Odin for this. I am grateful to the goddess Freya for giving me my beautiful girlfriend. And I don't have to clean up the area that's around me. I don't have to hand out leaflets to events. I don't have to I don't have to give money to them. All these things that I felt enslaved by when I was a Christian. When I was a single Christian male, I was encaged. Like, it was like, I said I went to see some wrestling and I paid $5 for the ticket and another $15 on the t-shirt. They said, that $20 could have gone to the church and you could have done, and that $20 could have went to a Christian ministry outlet in Namibia somewhere. And now, I'm thinking now, if you want that money so badly, I'm not doing it. I'm not giving you a damn cent. If you want that money so badly, don't do this whole passive aggressive bullshit. Oh, yes, that was a nice shirt, but that money from that shirt could have gone to this and the other. Guess what? I did a walkathon that no one fucking... I may have mentioned this in another video. That no one fucking did a road crew with me. I raised $1,200. I sacrificed a fucking Saturday. Only for what? For what? I asked, even weeks afterwards, I did ask, would you want to go out with me? Would you want to do this with me? They know that I did, I raised a bit over $1,000 on my own, with no fucking help, and yet, not even good enough. Even the organization that I asked to give the money to Indian children gave it to African men. So, Bible Society, fuck you. And that'll be for another video. I'll do my disdain for Christian charities. And it's just so bloody mind-boggling to think that as a single Christian male in my 20s did a big walk only to be shot down because I wasn't I didn't come from I didn't go to the right school, or I didn't go, or wasn't part of this societally good wasn't societally fashionable. Yeah, right, I'm more fashionable now than anything. The fashionable thing is, I'm not thin enough. I don't look like some weak pissant motherfucker. They know that I did 20 kilometers in just under 2 hours. And though I did it for one reason, and that reason ended up being fucking shitballed. I know for a fact in this whole vicious Christian, like this whole Christian ball of pissanery when it comes to single people. If I'm built like a freaking tank. I know the drill. If I was a lot thinner, maybe a few inches shorter, and they knew that I couldn't do a lot of walking, maybe just be like some creche caretaker or some Sunday school teacher, then maybe I would have been given a shot. But they look at me and they go, he's big, he's strong enough, he can do it on his own. But really, I even thought, a couple of years later, it was like a year or two after my mum passed. Only for them, like I said, I wanted to walk from my church to, like back then, be a good Christian man. Walk from Hoxton Park Anglican Church to the fucking cathedral in Parramatta. Guess what? I was told I would have no one help me out there. You're big and strong enough. You can walk it all your own. You don't need any extra water. If you want water, we're not going to set up. We're not been sending a road crew. We're not going to have someone there to make sure that you stop every few kilometers, make sure that you're feeling okay. You can just do the thing by yourself. Really. Which actually feeds, this is one of the reasons why it feeds so well in this whole thing when it comes to like the whole single Christian thing. If you look like you can do things on your own, well then do it on your own. One of these days I might just walk from Westfields in Liverpool to Westfields in Parramatta. I might even ask them, could they help me out with some people on the road crew to raise money for, just say, Westmead Children's Hospital. I know for a fact that they will help me out. Help put like little stations from here to Parramatta, going via a certain route. The secular way would have helped me out so much. I would have raised fucking tons more. But really, that would be one of the best things I could do. Actually, I might just do that later on. It'll be good for my health, that's for sure. But really, they use and abuse the single people in the church. This whole passive aggressive put down of certain people because they can't do this, they can't. Like, they didn't even like me going to wrestling events. Like I said, I found this, for 3 times a month, like 3 Saturdays straight, I went to see some wrestling events. Become good friends with wrestlers. Become good friends with other people. And they go, oh, you know that there was this event on this day, or you know that event was on that day, you know this and that, it was happening. By that time I was like, you know what, I don't give a shit. Even when I stopped going to wrestling events for a while, I just thought, yeah, fuck it. Like my father saying, oh, you know that thing at church? I went, yeah, I'm not doing it. I've actually given up on finding someone because of this whole pressure from the church to do something. And when I do something, and this has happened over across the many churches that I visited, that I volunteered, I couldn't pick up a woman because we're doing God's work. The church is so fucking concerned with this whole making women being incubators, making men be sperm pumpers, pump out a huge brood of kids, teach the kids the same bullshit that they were taught, and these people's daughters be the future baby incubators, and their future sons be the future sperm donors. All that is sperm donating and incubating for this whole Christian movement. Actually, for this whole Aramaic bullshit. I'm including Islam and Judaism in this one too. And it's just so bloody pathetic. Honestly, it's just so pathetic. Where in one sermon they say it's a blessing being single. But for like 2 or 3 sermons after that, they go, you know how we told you about being single is a blessing? But here's a true blessing right here. Get yourself a partner. Make yourself many babies. And you can be a true warrior, true inspiration to others in the church. Which is absolutely bullshit. Though I'm not an atheist like the man who hosts Believe It or Not, I'm a pagan, and I've seen the bullshit that Christianity has done, and I'm honestly proud to be a pagan because I'm not forced to do things that are not in me to do. Being loving and compassionate towards my girlfriend, that's easy. That's actually a law from Freya. Be truly loving and compassionate towards your loved ones, or to your lover. That's the beauty of being a Nordic pagan, and that is your gods don't demand that you become their slave. They know that you're willing to do things for them. And that's the truth. I just told you my story. And as I said, with that Believe It or Not video, that inspired me to do this video, and it's to show you that if you think being a Christian, that if your Christian friends keep telling you, oh, being a Christian is such a beautiful thing, such a loving thing, such a compassionate thing, it's not. If you're a single person, honestly, you need to ask your Christian friend this: how important is it for me to keep my Saturdays and Sundays free. How important is being single if you're a single person? How important is my wife and me, or my partner and I, being worthy of your church? And I bet you'll get, oh, we won't demand anything of you, which is bullshit. They do. They go, oh, it's okay for you to be single. No way. Sort of that idea. And they go, oh, we would welcome you into our church. That's the only thing that's the only thing truthful that will say. We'll accept you and your family. For the simple reason is, you're with a woman, you have kids, we can indoctrinate your kids into thinking the way we think. So, and to be honest with you, there are people like me all over the world. Like, I've got scars on my body because of fights, because of skin problems, and even once I even fought someone because they put down a church I was visiting. This guy said, I can knock you out. They punched out a skinny fella. All these people went around the skinny fella. I defended him. It's just, sorry, that's just outside. And yeah, this whole, it's just, there's so much bullshit in this whole Christian, in this whole Christian nonsense. Even in the Catholic faith, I've seen that. Like, one of my friend of mine who's a single Catholic man, he's actually left the Catholic faith and now become an atheist. He said, all I just want to do is just spend my 20s relaxing, doing whatever I want, and in my 30s I'll find a woman. Apparently that's not good of what's going down in the Catholic faith, because guess what? His church forced him. He said, oh, Mrs. Smith, her daughter, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the wardens of the church, they have a beautiful daughter. Go and date her. Or, the secretary and their partner, they have a beautiful daughter. They kept on forcing these daughters and that on him. Like, no wonder you left the Catholic faith. And I told him the Protestant faith is even better either. So I know not to do the Catholic faith, and he knows not to do the Protestant faith. And it's just even when you get older as a single person, I've seen people leave the church because they just couldn't take it anymore. They were told to find a woman. They found a woman. The woman died, and they were told to get back on the horse Go out there and find a new woman. Shit, my mum passed away nearly 8 years ago. Actually, 8 years ago this coming late July. And guess what? My father is still not over the fact that he lost his partner. And even then, my father's church still says, "Oh, you know, this person, she's also a widow too. You may want to hook up with her." I'm like, I literally yelled this out in the middle of the congregation. Fuck you! My father's still mourning that he's still fucking grieving over my mum's passing, and you want this bloody, and you saying that some fucked up woman will be good for him? Let my father fucking grieve. Which actually forced me a lot closer to being nothing at all. So, yeah. And let me just say this, to close everything off. What the whole Abrahamic bullshit tells you, more so the Christianity side, it's okay for you to be single. Being single can truly be a blessing. Like for me, I was able to exercise myself in different projects, find out what I'm good at, learn more about who I am. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. Find out who you are. And now, since I've got a girlfriend, I'm finding a new way, finding my new purpose, my new life. And it's just so amazing because it took me time. Like, I know some Christians are saying, "Oh, we were right all along. God did give you a girlfriend after so long." I'm like, fuck you guys. I finally found her. I finally asked her out. She said yes. It was me, not some fucking narcissistic bullshit artist in the sky. And yeah. Don't, and to be honest with you, take my advice. Don't go to a Christian church and you're single thinking that you're going to find helpfulness or salvation there. You're not. You're going to be treated like a slave, or because you're a single person. I'm Dragon Barrows saying so long. See you in the next video.